Hello, everybody. This is OSS Team October Week 4, here with another demo. And first, we'll start off with Corey.
All right. Hello, everybody. The context here is the C++ client and how the user could subscribe to ticketing tables. And I'm going to share my window here. And we have divided this project into kind of 4 milestones. And the first and simplest milestone would be how to subscribe to a table that is just getting like appends, like append-only table. It's just getting new rows at the end. And so, and then there'll be later milestones where you can get different kind of tables. Finally, at the point where you can get sort of arbitrary updates from the system. And so this is kind of milestone 1. And I've got a program here. I hope you can see it.
Yep.
Basically, my main is just it's very simple to connect to the server, and then it's got this little do it method, which is also quite simple. It's making a timetable. It is doing an update view where it's doing this I equals II, waiting 3 seconds just to accumulate a few rows. Oh, by the way, it's ticking every half a second. So it's going to wait 3 seconds before starting. So I'll accumulate 6 rows. And then I'll do this little thing where I've kind of made up entry point for now. Don't worry too much about the name. Subscribe to append-only table. So I take my table, I call it the subscribe thing, and I give it my callback. I'm going to let that run for 10 seconds, and then I'm going to unsubscribe. And I'm going to run that before showing you the callback, just to sort of show that it works. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it's readable, I guess. Yeah, so you can see my first snapshot came in, and it was like 6 timestamps in the II, and then I don't know if I'm getting this every second or so, but I'm getting a couple rows every second with these are my updates. This was my initial snapshot, and these are my updates, if that makes sense. And if you look at the callback that I had to write to make that happen, it's pretty simple, and deliberately so. You provide 2 callback methods, and what to do on failure and what to do on tick. And so this is what you do on tick. You get something that, for the moment, I'm calling a table view, and you get the new begin row and the new number of rows. And the thing I'm calling a table view, just as a placeholder name, I have the whole table that's accumulated, and you can actually look at any part of the table you want to, but I'm pointing out, I'm giving you the whole table that I've cached in memory, and I'm just also indicating what the new rows are. And basically, all this is really doing is printing it. The only reason this is complicated is slightly complicated, is because, of course, we send things as columns, and in order to print them out on the screen, you sort of have to transpose them to print out a row at a time. So there's a little work where you set up these little cursors or iterators or whatever you call it, so that you can set up a cursor for each column, advance it to the right point, literally advance it to the beginning row, and then kind of sweep over each column to print it on the screen. And that's kind of it. Hopefully that made some sense. And I could just prove that I'm not making stuff up. I could actually say I can modify my program in real time here and run this version of the program. And I've added another column called Zamboni with the constant hello, and I've modified my formula for my II column. And hopefully that won't take too long to compile and run. This computer's a little slow, so sorry. Please work. Yeah, there it is. So now my numbers are starting at 500. There's my hello column. My timestamp column is still there. And, it works. So that's it. Any questions?
All right.
I'm done.
All right, cool. All right, so that'll be coming soon to the C++ client API.
Great progress, Corey.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, and then next up we have Devin.
Great. I don't know if I can kick Corey off or not.
You should be able to.
There we go.
Yep.
You guys have seen some of the URI demos I've done before. This is an extension to that, potentially an unsafe extension to it, depending on the context that you're operating in. But just a couple of prerequisite stuff here. I've got some command line options here to enable the Parquet resolver, and the console script session is disabled. So you can't open up a GUI here. This is for our gRPC API only stuff, no script session stuff. I've also got a couple of extra workers set up here, worker 2, 3, and 4, to demonstrate some concepts here. And then I've got a little, so this is a remote program called Get URI Table, which takes in a URI. And by default, it connects to a local host on 10,000. So what we're going to start with is something you've seen in the me call resolve in the console before, but we're going to go ahead and just get the Parquet data from here. So this is connecting to localhost and then executing this Parquet table. And this is interesting because this is something we weren't previously able to do outside of a script session, but now I'm doing it from a remote worker here. Go ahead and do that. And there we go. There's I'm limiting it to 25 rows. And so there's the output there. If you wanted to conceptualize this as a fuller URI, you could, it's giving you a printed out version of the full URI. So it is connecting to localhost. And then if you were going to do it like that. So this is something you could share to other clients and stuff like that too, if you wanted. Okay, that's cool. But you've seen me do that in the console before. Let me show you something else that we've seen in the console before. You've seen me do this in the console before, connecting to out in the cloud and pulling down a scope table. We can do that here too, but this time it is going through the localhost worker again, and so this is proxying over the API. Of course, once you can get a proxy like this, you might as well see how far out you can extend it. So I've got a multi-hop proxy here where I'm going from localhost to worker 2 to worker 3 to worker 4 and grabbing worker 4's current time just for fun. And so you can see we've grabbed kind of a long chain of workers, not because it's useful in this context, but just to show you can do it. And then let's say we wanted to do kind of that same chain, but instead of actually ending on worker 4, let's say if on the final step we actually wanted to go out to that cloud again. So just for context, we're going to go on localhost to worker 2 to worker 3 to worker 4 to this thing. And so, between each of these links, there's a barrage subscription that is making its way back to me. So that's not in this month's release, but hopefully something in next month's release.
All right, very cool. All right, next up we have Chip.
All right, some of you guys may be famous now. I am going to share here. All right, so we have now created and started populating a YouTube channel for Deephaven. Right now we've got, 20, 30-ish videos. These are all from the learning sessions. So if you guys gave one of those talks, you are now on YouTube. As people get out and, give talks or have other video demos or anything like that, we can load those up here.
All right, cool. I'll be sure to subscribe. All right, that's it for this week. We'll see you next week. Cheers.